Hey everybody, I'm Ben Robar. This is going to be my creative presentation for PLS202. I will be creating just a short 3 video series about why leftists should vote for Biden, or why they should have, because the election's already happened. For the first video, I will be examining it through the scope of if the election hadn't already happened, just to preface. And I will attach the first video right after this little introduction. Thanks, guys. All right. Hey everyone. Today I'm going to be breaking down some of the policy positions and discrepancies between President Trump and now Vice President-elect Biden. I'm going to be operating through the scope of a leftist trying to convince other leftists to vote for Biden or support him. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be examining it as if the election has not happened already. So first off, I would just like to focus on some of the policy issues that I myself as a leftist find pretty important and just the best way to take care of our American citizens and even those who may not necessarily be citizens, just everybody around us. So first off, I would like to start off with Biden's stance on universal health care. So Biden wishes to extend the Affordable Care Act, which was obviously passed under Barack Obama's administration when he was vice president. And this will allow for those with pre-existing conditions to always be protected and not have to worry about losing their medical insurance because of companies or what have you. So a lot of people have dubbed this Biden care. And as I said, Biden vows this will protect those with pre-existing conditions, and they will always have access to the care they need because of these conditions. Unfortunately enough, though, Biden doesn't completely advocate for Medicare for all. So this does not mean universal health care for everybody. He does, however, favor a public option for the Affordable Care Act. But obviously that's not quite what we want. It's not quite Medicare for all like Bernie Sanders or AOC have advocated for. As I said, Biden does not support full Medicare for all, but he does intend on lowering the age to qualify for Medicare from 65 down to 60. And this is quite a small concession, I must say, but I feel as though it's a step in the right direction because people from that age may not have been able to get the help they needed before. My mother works in healthcare, and she has told me so many stories about how people around that age just haven't been able to get the healthcare they need because they don't qualify for Medicare yet, or something along those lines. So that's, while a small concession, that is a good thing that I feel like we need to focus on. And just a quick comparison to President Trump's universal health care plan, or lack thereof. This is a far cry from Trump's health care plan, which is just seemingly repeated attacks on the Affordable Care Act, which we've seen many times before. There was the famous clip of John McCain famously voting to keep the Affordable Care Act, which actually swung the vote in the act's favor to stay in place. If Trump were to repeal the Affordable Care Act, it would strip away health care from millions of Americans. I personally know quite a few families that have benefited greatly from the Affordable Care Act and the insurance that it provided for them when they weren't able to get any more. This would also allow for insurance companies to strip away insurance from people with pre-existing conditions, which obviously is a bad thing. Somebody with asthma or diabetes or an underlying heart condition should be able to have health care even though they have these things going into it. Because what is the point of health care without protecting those who need it? Another matter of huge substance on the left, and to me especially, is the environment and clean energy production. Biden has stated that he wishes to expand the green power generation, more methods of generating green power. And he would like to expand the infrastructure for that and kind of ease back a little bit on fossil fuels. So Biden has mentioned that he wishes to strip subsidies away from those foreign or domestic oil companies and not necessarily ban fossil fuels outright, because that would obviously be disastrous, but to slowly phase out the need for fossil fuels. And he doesn't want to necessarily rip all those coal jobs away that we see in West Virginia, which is a huge base for President Trump. But what Biden would like to do is kind of phase those jobs in to more green energy sources. Biden also plans to spend approximately $2 billion in this sector between now and 2035, so after he's out of office. And he wishes, like I said, to end federal subsidies on the oil companies. Now, President Trump, on the other hand, subscribes to the notion that fossil fuels and coal is coming back, which, I mean, we've seen over and over again. Coal is not coming back. One of my professors last year made a point to mention that to me. And fossil fuels are a thing way in the past, and they are not sustainable. But Trump clings to the notion that we will be able to bring out and revitalize the coal and oil industry. I believe that, honestly, this is just to appeal to the oil barons and those poor coal miners in West Virginia that have been impacted by the less dependence on coal. But another thing that's really important now, just given the current climate of the world, is COVID-19. Biden has had a lot to say about how President Trump has handled COVID-19. And let's be honest, it's not his fault that the pandemic happened, but he did handle this very poorly. And allowing the Senate and Mitch McConnell to break before they pass any sort of stimulus bill is disgusting, especially when around 78,000 Americans lost their jobs last week, and quite a few families do not know where their next meal is coming from. But back onto Biden's plan for COVID-19. He likes to take strong action against COVID-19. This would allow us to get the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines maybe logistically quicker than President Trump. He would also endorse a national mask mandate because Biden has said before that wearing a mask is not an infringement on your rights. It is a patriotic duty. And your patriotic duty is to protect those around you. He would also like to kind of ease back everything and prevent us from having a fourth wave because we're currently in the third. He would like to ease back everything without shutting down the economy. So it will be actually really interesting to see how that goes if and when the Pfizer vaccine comes out and before then. On the subject of immigration, he's kind of had a little bit of a spotty track record here, being Vice President to Barack Obama from 2008 to 2016, 2009 to 2017. Obama started the practice of putting the children in cages at the border, which is obviously awful to do. It's abhorrent. But Biden has stated that he wishes to increase the ability of people to come here legally, and if there are people already in the country, no questions asked, just he would like to provide a better path for citizenship. I know so many people personally from the Oakland County area that have benefited greatly from the DACA program and programs like it and their ability to stay here. And Biden wishes to expand the DACA program and allow for an easier transition to citizenship in the United States. Now, Trump doesn't support these efforts. As we know, he has just ramped up border security. He's talked about build the wall and make Mexico pay for it, which obviously didn't happen. But he, instead of wishing to allow those who want to come here legally to come here easily, he just kind of would rather have them wait through this long bureaucratic process that can take tens of thousands of dollars and just years on end. We've all heard the stories about people spending thousands and thousands of dollars and waiting years for their loved ones just to be allowed entry into the United States. Trump has also claimed many times that immigrants from Latin America are thugs and rapists. This claim is largely unsubstantiated and just rather racist. It's actually proven that undocumented immigrants commit crimes at a significantly lower rate than other groups in the United States, whether this be because they're afraid of being deported back to their home country or just that, they don't want to, they just want to work and make a better life for their families. I'm not able to tell you. And last thing for this video, Biden is by no means our perfect candidate. We all know that. We're just kind of attempting to keep the damage that President Trump has done to our democracy minimal. And Biden has objectively better policy decisions than President Trump does. And as leftists, I feel like that's the important thing for us to focus on today. The election of President-elect Biden will allow us to further push our policy demands and our ideals on the Democratic Party. Thanks, guys.